What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here, bringing you some more Series 9 Wi-Fi battles with live commentary. I hope people noticed the new thumbnail. I've been trying to make some changes to the channel and would love people's thoughts. So we are once again playing this Perish Song team, and looking at my opponent in the first game, they have Celesteela, Dragonite, Regieleki with Meowstic, a Rillaboom, and Chandelure. So my thoughts are Primarina with Coalossal. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. Just looking at what they have, I am afraid of a turn 1 fake out, and obviously, if need be, double protect is really big. Other than that, I think probably not much use for Dragapult here. I think Amoonguss is really big, offering redirection and dealing with some big threats, and then probably Terrakion in the last spot. I think it is going to be a little bit awkward not having Dragapult, but obviously, yeah, I think because of the fact that Dragapult doesn't have Protect, due to the fact that it needs both Phantom Force and, not Phantom Force, it needs both Surf and Beat Up, it does make things just a little bit tricky. Otherwise, I feel like it would have been a good, actually, what am I talking about? It actually does not matter because, okay, so we are going to see Meowstic and Regieleki. So I think a double protect in this situation is fine. I don't actually know what Meowstic can do. I just am afraid of it having fake out. So I think double protect is a really safe option, making it so I can kind of scout out what they want to do. The big fear is definitely going to be Aleki maxing, but we're not going to see that this turn. So that's a really good spot because if they knock out Primarina, Regieleki, not Regieleki, Coalossal pretty much becomes useless. So we're going to see Trick. Okay, so that is really good to know that they have Trick on Meowstic, as we are going to see the Volt Switch. So I probably want to switch out. I want to bring out Amoonguss here and... No, I want to bring out... What I'm thinking is, okay, we bring out Terrakion into the left, and then we bring out Amoonguss to take the Trick from Meowstic, because although it is going to be annoying having, probably I'm guessing, a lagging tail on the Amoonguss, it is, I think, fine in the long run, just due to the fact that Amoonguss can still go for priority Rage Powder, and that really is what's going to be the most important thing going forward. So we are going to see a light screen come out from the Meowstic. I think that is a pretty smart play from their end, but not really going to affect us too much, as an Electroweb is going to come out. It's going to do a little bit more than I would have liked into Terrakion, but at this point, we could honestly max Terrakion. Looking at what my opponent has, it honestly feels pretty free to go for... Let's go for a Rockfall into Aleki, expecting an obvious switch, and go for a Rage Powder onto the Amoonguss, with the idea that if they choose to... Okay, so they're not going to switch, so that actually also makes things really interesting. I'm guessing most likely they're going to try to go for a Trick and something onto Terrakion. But I think that still is going to be fine, just due to the fact that we will be able to redirect another hit with Amoonguss and then pick up a second knockout with Terrakion, most likely onto Meowstic. So let's see. We are going to see Reflect. Okay, so it's dual screens with Trick, so that actually does make things kind of scary, as we are going to see a Volt Switch come out. I do expect something like Dragonite to come into that slot, which would actually be really, really good for us, expecting something like a Max Quake from Terrakion. So let's see what they want to go for. We are going to see Celesteela, which slightly less than ideal, and I think especially given the fact that they do have the Reflect Up, it's going to do a little bit less than I would have liked. But we still have Coalossal in the back, and we do have a way of redirecting even more damage, and any sort of Sash on Meowstic is not broken. So I'm going to go for a Max Quake here and go for Rage Powder once again, just with the idea that we want to redirect some damage away from from Terrakion onto this Amoonguss. They are going to max Celesteela, which I think does make things really, really tricky, but at the same time, Celesteelas tend to not have good damage onto, what is it called? Onto Coalossal, right? Because they normally have stuff like, they normally have, what is it called? A steel move and a flying move, so I'm not super, super worried. Terrakion does still outspeed Celesteela, which I think is huge, as we are just going to get, unfortunately, not that much chip onto this Meowstic. I think Coalossal probably would have been a really good option, given the fact that they maxed this turn. Amoonguss is going to hold on, which I think is a really crucial thing, as we are going to see Steel Spike come out from them. So we are getting really good special defense boosts onto Terrakion, as we do see the Psychic come out onto Amoonguss. So at this point, it is a little bit tricky because of the fact that this Celesteela can put big pressure onto both my Pokemon. It has Steel Spike. I mean, it doesn't really have anything for Coalossal, and we are faster. So what I'm thinking is we want to go for another Quake into Meowstic to guarantee a second special defense boost as we go for a Heat Wave, because they still have 2 turns of max. So what I'm trying to do is get as much damage as possible and also make myself really bulky, because I'm thinking, okay, if we are at +2 special defense with Sandstorm, this we are going to get the Lagging Tail, right? Yep, it is going to be Lagging Tail, but luckily Lagging Tail is not going to take effect this turn, so we are still going to get that max Quake off. So even though we do have that item, I think it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. The big fear is if it's Policy on Celesteela, as we do connect to Heat Wave, which is going to do really big damage, even though it isn't boosted, and we see why, because of the fact that we do get a critical hit onto Celesteela, as they are going to get a second defense boost. So now is the question of, they have 1 turn of max left. What are they going to go for from here? We have seen them try to go for Steel Spikes. So what I'm thinking is, I think we could go for a Rock Slide. I think we just go for double spread. Yeah, because I mean it is actually, oh, that was actually bad, because Meowstic can just go for Psychic onto Terrakion. So playing around that's going to be just a little bit tricky. So yeah, if they go for Psychic and pick up the knockout on Terrakion, I think we're in a bad spot. But I mean, oh yeah, obviously they can do that. Terrakion has Lagging Tail. That's how this game works, and Protect was very, very obvious. So yep, we are going to see Psychic. It is going to come out into Terrakion. So, oh yeah, because we are going to be +3, so it makes sense that we live. We are going to miss the Meowstic, but we are going to hit into Celesteela. So now is the question of, where is Celesteela going to go? As it's going to Rockfall, most likely into, yep, Coalossal. Coalossal is going to hang on, which is really great, because now we have the Weakness Policy boost. And we know that this Meowstic's only source of damage into us is going to be, what is it called? Is going to be, oh wait, yeah, Meowstic is going to go down to this Sandstorm, so they no longer have Light Screen, which is really good, because Coalossal now has a really big source of damage. And what I'm thinking is, we can sacrifice Terrakion and Protect with Coalossal to trigger, what is it called? To trigger the Steam Engine boost, because I feel like the Electro Web is really obvious. And if we can get Coalossal to +2, we're in a really good spot. So I say we go for the Rock Slide, and we just go for a Protect with Coalossal here, because I don't expect Celesteela to have good damage into Coalossal at this point. It looks like it does have Meteor Beam, so if we can protect the right turn, I think we're in good shape. And so I'm kind of hoping it is this turn that they're going to go for it. We do see the Electro Web come out, And that most likely will, yep, pick up a knockout onto Terrakion. And I think if they go for Meteor Beam and don't have the red herb, we should be in good shape. So we do see them charge it. So the big question is, what is their held item? And it looks like it is perfect. So it is going to be the power herb. So they can't pick up a knockout onto my Coalossal. They do... This is still a little bit tricky though, just due to the fact that they could have Focus Sash on their Alecki. We could just Aqua Jet into... No, because they have 3 Pokemon in the back. I think we have to Aqua Jet into Coalossal and go for a Heat Wave. Because we can't really afford anything to get damage onto us. So Coalossal is going to be really low, but we are going to trigger that Steam Engine. And as long as we hit the Heat Wave, we should be in good shape. We are going to miss something. We unfortunately do miss Celesteela. So the question now is, okay, so there is no Focus Sash on Alecki. So that's really good. And the question now is, okay, so Celesteela is going to go for Meteor Beam, which means that we do have a really free double protect if we so choose, but also we have Primarina with Aqua Jet, so we can easily pick off Celesteela. So the big question is, what do they have in the back? And it is going to be... It's going to be Chandelure. So... Still really tricky. I think we Aqua Jet into the Steela, and... Oh, and we Earth Power into Chandelure. And that should be able to wrap things up, right? Because we will pick up the knockout using this Aqua Jet, and then... We do have Coalossal go first. So, I mean, it could be Sash, but I don't see Chandelure picking up a double knockout this turn, and we will have Primarina going for priority Aqua Jet. So, yep, we're going to see no Sash. So, glad we were able to pull things off. I think it definitely was... It was really scary at a lot of different points, especially just due to the fact that, like, I felt like Terrakion's max wasn't really utilized super, super well. But, I mean... There is a reason that Coalossal is arguably one of the strongest Pokemon in Series 9, and I think this really showed it off, where even though it wasn't max, like, it still was able to really pick up a lot of damage, pick up a lot of KOs, and put us in an overall really strong winning position. But yeah, let's just keep rocking and rolling and move right to the next game. Alright, battle number 2, and it is Tapu Koko with Thievul, Registeel, a Kartana, Rotom Wash, and Latias. So I expect Latias to want to go for, what is it called? Want to go for a Tailwind. So this is really tricky, right? I don't want to keep bringing Coalossal, but at the same time, I need to outspeed Tapu Koko, and my only way of doing that is, unfortunately... Actually, I'm going to quickly look up, what is Tapu Koko's speed? Tapu Koko. Actually, no, I have to, because, right, Kartana outspeeds Terrakion. So I want to go Primarina, Coalossal. I think Celesteela is a really good option for a lot of different stuff, right? It can deal with Kartana and Rotom. It can't really deal with Rotom Wash. And I think Dragapult is just a good option to have in that 4th slot, just due to the fact that that means most Registeels can't touch it. So having Dragapult be able to go for something like a Will-O-Wisp onto Registeel if need be is going to be really important for potentially that sort of endgame. And even then, like, we do have access to Will-O-Wisp. So I'm going to look up Kartana's speed real quick, because I don't know it off the top of my head. And so I want to make sure... I feel like Dragapult definitely will outspeed at 201. Yep, Kartana hits 161. And what about Tapu Koko? So we're going to see Kartana with Registeel, which I think is fine. We do have Primarina as well as Coalossal, so we do have potentially just a quick, easy Aqua Jet there, and then max flare? What do they have in the back? Yeah, they don't have anything that benefits from it, so we can go for... This is risky. So what I'm thinking is... Okay, so they're going to withdraw. Because what I was thinking is Kartana could be sashed, and if Kartana is sashed, I want to be able to have residual damage to potentially pick up the knockout. So this is actually really good now, because we are going to see them bring out Rotom. Sorry, I am scratching my nose a lot. We are going to see them bring out Rotom, so we are going to be able to get a really big Volcalith, because I'm guessing they did expect a max flare, sorry. So getting off that big damage early on, I think is going to be really, really critical, because now we are going to eliminate a very big threat into this Coalossal and really position ourselves well, especially I think because we have both Dragapult and Primarina, so we do have that quick immediate option of Perish Song, and we know that Coalossal really has two, I don't want to say guaranteed, but I think at this point guaranteed knockouts, barring me getting knocked out from this Registeel's body press. But I mean, it is going to be at neutral, and even then, yeah, I think it actually really will depend on a couple things then, because we are going to see, yep, an Amnesia come out from this Registeel, which is, it is going to be a little bit scary, but we are not getting, or they're not getting a defense boost, so we know that we can survive a body press. That's what I'm trying to say. And we do have Primarina out, so I think we can go for a protect, and then honestly we can probably, depending on what they have, go for a Perish Song the next turn. As we do see Tapu Koko come out, we know that the two in the back, or we know that the one in the back is going to be Kartana, so they don't actually have a good switch. So there's nothing really stopping, there's nothing stopping me from protecting with Primarina and going for a max Quake on the Tapu Koko. Because my thought is, sure, okay, you're going to get an Amnesia boost, but how are you going to deal with Perish Song? And even, I think, even if they get up their max, we should still be in good shape. So we are going to see the Koko max, and I think, I don't really, I mean, what, you could max guard with Koko to go for a body press into Coalossal and hope that no iron defenses are going to let you get there. So we are going to see the Primarina go for a protect, so that means they're not max guarding with Tapu Koko, as we are going to get off a big max Quake, and I don't really see a way in which Tapu Koko lives. Yep, we do get the knockout here, so I'm guessing what they're going to go for. This is actually still, yeah, I mean, I don't think we can actually go for a Perish Song, just due to the fact that they do have Kartana in the back, and Kartana threatens Leaf Blade into Primarina. As we do see, yeah, a second Amnesia. But, I mean, Coalossal will outspeed. They can't max, and even if they have Protect, we should be fine. The fear, though, is going to definitely be... What is it called? The fear is definitely going to be... English. The fear is Focus Sash. Because now we can't go for Perish Song quite as easily, as we do see Kartana come out. And I think, yeah, we can go for... Yeah, the only thing stopping this is if they have Focus Sash on Kartana. But that, like, I can't really see that be an option. We are going to see the max flare off. I do expect it to be Assault Fest, but like I said, we are is that, I can't actually tell. It is that, no, it is not Focus Sash, right? Yeah, Kartana's going to faint, and now what we do is we have a guaranteed Perish Song off, so their Registeel cannot sit here and outstall us, and we also do have a Dragapult in the back, so we can just go for a double protect, then switch out into both things, and that, I mean, that is game. So, I mean, a little bit unfortunate that we were able to just do so much work with our Coalossal in the early game because of the fact that my opponent's team didn't have a good answer to it. And I think, well, let's see, looking at their lead, could they have done anything? Could they have done anything different? No, I mean, not really. They don't have a good... Maybe if Thievul has Fake Out, but I don't actually know if Thievul learns Fake Out. I know it has Unburden, so we can just go for a double protect, but I probably expect my opponent to run in this position because they can't, yeah. So they can't really do anything from here. I guess we did successfully use Perish Song. I know that that is something that I've never really been good at, setting up that endgame, and I think Coalossal just was able to steamroll so quickly, so it didn't really matter in the endgame. But good second game, very quick. But yeah, let's just keep rocking and rolling and play the next one. All right, battle number 3 is Salamence with Regieleki, Metagross, Grimmsnarl, a Rillaboom, and Incineroar. I mean, it's kind of hard to not bring to not bring Coalossal. Coalossal has super effective onto not only the Metagross, but also the Salamence, the Rillaboom, and the Incineroar. So Coalossal, they don't have redirection, so I could do Dragapult. Yeah, Dragapult is Dragapult doesn't work because of Regieleki. So I need Primarina here. Amoonguss. I like Amoonguss because of the fact that it deals with the Rillaboom and what is it called? Grimmsnarl and probably Dragapult. Right? Yeah, Dragapult makes sense. We do have the option of Will-O-Wisping the Rillaboom as well as what is it called? The Rillaboom as well as the other thing. The Salamence, that's what I want to say. So definitely, I think this is going to be a really tricky one. Rillaboom Alecki is the scariest lead. Because okay, so we're going to see Metagross Grimmsnarl. So that tells me you want to trigger policy on the Metagross using... This is actually... Because the thing is, like, I expect Sucker Punch on Grimmsnarl. So what they could do. What they could do is they could go for Light Screen and expect me to trigger their policy. Right? That's an option. So I want to actually switch out into Amoonguss and go for a Moonblast on a Grimmsnarl. And I think that's fine because we do have Dragapult in the back. So we do still have another way to trigger the policy, but I'm guessing it's going to be a Light Screen and a Max Quake into what is it called? Into the Amoonguss, right? Because that makes the most sense. It covers the fact that I would trigger your policy as well as not pick up the KO with Max Flare and let you KO back and get a special defense boost. But now, I mean, now things are a little bit tricky just due to the fact that this Metagross is maxed, but we can hopefully stall it out. Yep. Okay, so we are going to see the Light Screen come out, which is fine. We are going to see, a Max Quake into the Amoonguss slot as expected. And we are going to be able to get off, a big Moonblast into the Grimmsnarl. So what I'm thinking now is probably want to try and Spore into... I actually would have really liked that to do more. We are going to get the special attack drop, not that it matters. I think we go for a Spore into the Metagross and just go for another Moonblast into the Grimmsnarl. As we are going to see it, get a Reflect. I think that makes the most sense. And really, I just want to... Oh, they're going to go for a Hailstorm. Hailstorm is fine. Oh, no, we took damage. Just kidding. Okay, so they do pick up the knockout onto Amoonguss, but what am I saying? My Amoonguss is not asleep. So what that means is... I mean, not my Amoonguss. Their Metagross is not asleep. So what I can do is bring out Dragapult. And... God, why is... Grimmsnarl living is so frustrating. I want to try to... I think from here an Aqua Jet should pick up the KO. They do have a Reflect, which makes it a little bit scary. but I feel like it's so low, and Grimmsnarl. I mean, Grimmsnarl's actually pretty bulky, and getting that wrong would really, really hurt. But I think what I want to do is I want to Will-O-Wisp onto the Metagross and go for an Aqua Jet onto the Grimmsnarl. But I probably expect them to... Oh, okay. I was like, interesting choice. They're going to go for the Scary Face. So we are going to get the Aqua Jet KO, which is great because this Metagross... Oh, well, there's the Hail. We are going to be able to pick up the knockout this turn, but they are going to get a Hailstorm onto Dragapult, and I'm hoping that given how bulky this Dragapult is, we do live, but not as comfortably as I would have liked, especially given the fact that, I mean, that's an unpolicy boosted Metagross, and I think we really are going to be relying on Coalossal in this endgame. But what's nice is Metagross is losing its max. It is now taking a bunch of residual from not only the Hail, but also the Burn. So we can kind of let Metagross sit there as we do see Rillaboom come out. So Rillaboom not going to do much into Coalossal. And given their lack of screens at this point, I think the big priority is going to be what? I want to try and burn on the Rillaboom and protect the Primarina. It is really obvious, but they don't have a good counterplay to it unless they have Protect on Rillaboom. That's actually their only counterplay, as we are going to see Grassy Glide come out and... Oh, sorry if I froze for a second. We do hit the second Will-O-Wisp onto Rillaboom. So this is a really good spot because now both of my opponent's Pokemon are burned, and what we can do is if they pick up a knockout onto Dragapult, which they don't because of the fact that Dragapult just has so much HP left, we can probably switch out into... I don't want to trigger the policy in Coalossal because it just... Coalossal just like can't take hits. How many turns of Light Screen do they have left? I think that's... Because if we can stall with the Light Screen, we should be in really good shape. But what I'm afraid of is if they just hit into... How many turns do they have? They have... No, because I expect it to be Light Clay on Grimmsnarl. So they probably have a lot of turns left. I say we... I'm going to beat up into Rillaboom and swap out into Cole. If they make the read... That's the thing. Like, if they make the read right and go for the Stomping Tantrum into Coalossal, it's really, really bad shape. But like we are going to see the Grassy Glide into Coalossal. Coalossal takes not that much. We are going to get the Beat Off up, which is going to do like literally nothing, but getting just any sort of extra chip damage is going to be important, as we are going to see the Ice Punch. So that's actually really good for us. Dragapult is going to hang on, and because of the safety goggles, we are not going to go down to Hail. So this is actually really like a really strong position, because now what we can do is we can that's actually scary. So what they can do though is they can they can Grassy Glide into Dragapult with Rillaboom. But I still want to go for a Surf, and I'm going to go for a Volcalith into Rillaboom, just with the idea that I want to get chip damage onto this Metagross because of the fact that it does have a weakness policy. I can't really risk Metagross triggering the policy, because then it'll pick up a bunch of KOs. So I'm kind of trying to slow roll it as much as possible, which means I will have to take a Stomping Tantrum from it. But I'm hoping with the burn, it's not going to do that much. So we are going to go for a Surf. Coalossal probably... I think given the amount of HP Coalossal has left, I don't see it living a Stomping Tantrum. But I mean, I would love to be wrong. But that, I mean, it's fine because we do get the Vocalith off. They're not going to be able to switch out their, what is it called, their Metagross at this point, and so we can really hopefully take advantage of that. So the big question is, do we live this turn? And I'm guessing the answer is no. We are going to see a Stomping Tantrum, and okay, we do live. So this is actually good for us because now we do have a little bit more passive recovery as a result of grassy terrain and no hail, as they're going to take a bunch of chip damage not only from the burn but also from Volcolith. So at this point, Metagross really can't do that much damage. I think it still isn't quite over, just due to the fact that my opponent does have something in the back, and what that is could just put on a ton of pressure, as it is going to be a Regieleki. So what, Regieleki, even with screens, is fine. We can go for a Phantom Force, right? We Phantom Force into Regieleki and go for a Max Quake into it. I think that makes the most sense, right? We get the special defense boost. We are going to go first unless the Aleki is Scarf, but I can't really see a reason for Scarf Aleki, but I think that would have been my opponent's only sort of out, as yeah, we are going to be able to knock out the Aleki with the Max Quake. We are going to get the special defense boost, and I think given this point, given how much damage we have still on board, and the fact that Metagross is on such a big timer with not only the burn but also Volcolith. So yeah, Coalossal's going to go down. We can honestly also go for Perish Song with Perish Song might be a little bit risky because we are going to, I mean, we're going to bring Metagross back down to neutral. I mean, it's under half and is burned and has Volcolith chip damage. I cannot see Metagross living this turn. Right? There's really no way it's gonna to live. And I think the reason we were able to stall so well is because we didn't trigger the policy on Metagross. And here comes Phantom Force. It's gonna do, yeah, it's not enough to pick up the knockout, but Metagross cannot pick up 2 KOs. And with the residual from the Volcolith and the burn, we are going to be able to pick up the knockout, as they are going to make the wrong choice, quote unquote, to target into Dragapult. So Primarina will get off a Perish Song. Unfortunate that we did not get to actually win the game using Perish Song during any of these battles, but I still think it was a really good option to have, and it puts on a lot of pressure. But I think we really got lucky with all of our opponents and the fact that Coalossal was just able to do so much work. So I think it was a little bit unfortunate, but I think we really showed off how this, I mean, I don't think we really showed off how this team functions so much as how Coalossal functions. Because what, we did use Amoonguss. I don't think we brought Celesteela to a single game. And I think Terrakion was also a really good option in the back. It works really well, and it just was really unfortunate that my opponents all had Regieleki, so it made it hard to justify Terrakion. Justify. With the idea that, okay, well, am I going to be able to set it up, or am I going to take a speed drop? But, I mean, we still have some time, so let's just play one more and see if we can use Terrakion or just some other Pokemon. Alright, last battle. This is, what is it called? This is a team that someone built, right? It is going to be Porygon Z with Clefairy, Regieleki, an Incineroar with Rillaboom and Urshifu. So Terrakion's actually really good here. Does Terrakion have... Yeah, it's just... Regieleki's hard. But I want to do Terrakion Dragapult. I think it's silly not to bring Coalossal. No, we really can't. I think Drag Coal makes the most sense. Primarina for sure. Because Primarina can also function under Trick Room. And then... Do we bring Mushroom? Probably Amoonguss. I think we're rocking kind of the same 4 again. But I think it is just such a powerful grouping, and it really does mimic the idea of the standard of Coalossal with Dragapult, Rillaboom, and what is the last one? And Urshifu, but we're switching now because we're switching we're switching Rillaboom for Amoonguss, which gives us access to Poison and Control. And okay, so we are gonna see. Interesting. So we do see a Urshifu and Rillaboom, and so what I want to do. I want to Will-O-Wisp into Urshifu and bring out Amoonguss. Because neither of these Pokemon have good damage into Amoonguss. As we are going to see Clefairy come out. So I think this is fine positioning for me. We do have super effective damage with Amoonguss onto Clefairy. So it's not even a big issue. And the main question now is, are we going to hit with this Will-O-Wisp? As we do see a Protect come out. So I think that was really smart by my opponent. I think if we had set up, we would have been a really good spot. But let's kind of see. I still think it makes sense to go for this and then just try to pick up as much damage as we can onto Clefairy, because Urshifu just really cannot hit Dragapult for anything at all. So that should really help us. We are going to see Urshifu switch out into probably Incineroar, into Alecki, which I think is also fine. Getting a burn onto Alecki is... Oh yeah, they just go for Follow Me, just kidding. We are going to see a Will-O-Wisp onto Clefairy, because I'm guessing they thought I was going to go for a Spore, and we are going to be able to pick up a Sludge Bomb onto them as well. So now I'm just trying to think what makes the most sense. We do actually get really good damage, because of a crit, onto Clefairy. We know that they have... What? We know that they have Urshifu in the back and Rillaboom, so they actually cannot touch Amoonguss. So I like the idea of going for a Phantom Force into Alecki. Do we max Amoonguss? It's honestly like not the stupidest idea I've ever had. No, let's just go for a Sludge Bomb. We do have really good ways of pivoting. We are going to see the max Alecki. I think that makes the most sense. But Alecki doesn't have good damage into either of my Pokemon. And so the main question for me is, can I think once I get rid of Clefairy, though, we are in a good position because we do have Primarina, so we do have priority Aqua Jet, as we are going to see a Helping Hand come out, which does make things, I think, a little bit tricky, as they are going to Lightning into Dragapult, and Dragapult is going to hold on, which is going to be pretty crucial, because that means that we are going to be able to go for a Phantom Force, and what's even better is the fact that the grassy terrain is gone. So we do have less recovery going for that Clefairy, as we are going to be able to connect with another Sludge Bomb onto this Clefairy. And with that, it is low, and they are going to take Residual Chip, and I think it's actually good that they hang on this turn, because now what we can do is we can go for a Protect with Amoonguss, and Regieleki will be forced to target into that slot, and we will... I guess, yeah, it's a little tricky, though, because I would have liked to have the Dragapult hit into Regieleki, but I think it's fine. We are going to be able to tank this Max Lightning probably very well, as, yep, we take next to nothing from Amoonguss, and we are going to knock out this Clefairy. And so now they have Urshifu, which can't really do much to Amoonguss, as well as Rillaboom. But I still think it's worth not getting overexcited. Rillaboom is going to come out, so we are going to get grassy terrain. It's actually really hard to not max Amoonguss right now. Let's just go for a Will-O-Wisp onto Rillaboom and go for a Sludge Bomb. Right? Because what? You can go for a Fake Out onto Amoonguss, which makes sense, and probably a Max Lightning as well. Yep, onto Dragapult. Okay, so that's fine, because now what now? Your Aleki's max is over, and honestly, I think we max Amoonguss because Regieleki can't touch it. We can swap out as need be for recovery. So we bring out Coalossal, and we bait. I think we bait the Coalossal max, and it's just hard because of the fact that. Or wait, what am I talking about? I have Rage Powder. I click Volcalith into Aleki, and I go for Rage Powder. Because this way, yeah, this way they have to target into me with both. I mean, they don't have to target into me both because Rillaboom has to go for. I mean, Rillaboom could have. What is it called? It could have high horsepower, so that's something to be wary about. But I think given how much HP we have left, that puts us in a good spot. But I am going to expect probably a Electroweb and a Grassy Glide. I mean, not Grassy Glide. A Stomping Tantrum, right? We are going to see just the Thunderbolt come out into Amoonguss, which is going to take a little bit more than I would have liked, as it also does get paralyzed, and we're going to see a knockoff from Rillaboom onto Amoonguss. Amoonguss does hang on, which is really valuable, as this Volcalith is going to come out onto Regieleki, and yep, we pick up the knockout. So my big fear, I think my big fear was if Regieleki had a Focus Sash, and so now what happens is Rillaboom does not have access to Grassy Glide. That's what I'm trying to say. As we do see Urshifu come out, so what I can do is I can go for a Max Guard this turn and go for let's go for a Sludge Bomb onto Rillaboom. The fear actually, we should have actually gone for Rage Powder, because the fear now is if they don't knock out Amoonguss, that's actually really bad. Because I need the free switch to Primarina to trigger Coalossal to knock out Urshifu. Because we can beat Rillaboom. Even then, Primarina is fine into Urshifu, but it is still going to be a little bit tricky. As we are going to see Surging Strikes, into Coalossal and double target into Coalossal. So that's actually pretty bad. That's really bad. That's actually super bad that they did that. Okay. So, oh god. We go for a Flare onto Rillaboom, and we Sludge Bomb onto Rillaboom. Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad. We're okay. So this is okay. Okay, we're not. It's not over yet. They did protect on Urshifu, and they are gonna knock off onto Amoonguss. So I think at this point, we're fine, because we will be able to pick up the knockout onto the Rillaboom with its max flare. The flare is going to reduce the amount of damage from Surging Strike, and we do have Primarina in the back, which does have access to Moonblast to pick up the final knockout onto Urshifu in the event that we can't, or in the event that we get KO'd by Surging Strikes. And we saw Protect, so we know that they don't have Choice Band. So I think we are cleaning it up. I'm really glad this team has been working out the way it is. I definitely felt a little bit uncomfortable with it, and I talked about going through a bunch of iterations where I had Cobalion and Clefairy instead of what we have now, and I think this grouping just made the most sense because of the fact that like Terrakion really has come in handy more times than one, as we are going to see Close Combat come out. So yeah, I mean, Close Combat is going to seal the deal. Primarina is just going to be able to pick up a knockout with a Moonblast, and it's very good. So yeah, like I said, it is cool to see this team work out the way it has, and I know there are points where I felt a little bit uncertain about it, and I think it is a really cool team. I think even though it is another Coalossal team, like how Coalossal works in the grand scheme of things plays a big role. Like we could have gone for a max on Amoonguss, and it probably would have been a really good spot, but I think we just chose to go with Coalossal because it just kind of made sense and felt right, especially with the redirection. And yeah, I think the offering that a lot of these Pokemon bring over more traditional teams makes up for it. And yeah, you have a lot of teams use Togekiss, but Amoonguss just does a lot to deal with things like Rillaboom and also to stop Urshifu in its tracks, which can cause big problems. So, like I said, really great run with this team. I hope people try it out. I will include the link to the PokePaste as well as the rental code in the description. And moving forward, we are going to finish more of the 5 teams from my rental video. And once that's done, probably just try and play some really fun teams to finish off this season. But yeah, until next time, I hope all of you are wonderful, and I'll see you then.